welcome to Casey's Book Talk. Tonight we are gonna check out Fisher Amelie's Vein. I have read her before. Her writing is fantastic. I read Callum and Harper and was not disappointed in that book at all. I think everybody should read that one. But Vein, let's get started on that. You meet this girl, Sophie Price. She is your typical rich bitch girl. No joke. Totally hated this girl and was actually immediately shocked within the first page when you read that she is snorting coke off of a table. Toy with each other's boyfriends. They all sleep together in this circle. They go to these parties called holes because they all hole up for the weekend when the parents go away. Well, needless to say, it's not Sophie's first outing. Most of the time, they hang out at Sophie's place. Sophie's parents are gone the most. Sophie's dad is like this mega billionaire who owns a software company in Silicon Valley. So, with him being gone, they all hole up in her house. So, in this time that they are all holed up in the house, Sophie is in the middle of her party and she decides that she's going to sleep with one of her friend's boyfriends. She tells her friend, this is how much of a bitch she is, that it doesn't matter if I sleep with him or not, she'll forgive me later. Really? No one will forgive you for sleeping with their boyfriend. Somewhere down the line, never. It's not going to happen. She's more self-centered than I thought. She has no feelings. She fights them. She hides them. I've never read a character quite like her. And the character development that Fisher puts into this book makes Sophie such a likable character by the time you get done reading this. Sophie then ends up going into the bathroom, doing a line of coke, and in the middle of it, the party gets busted. Sophie then decides to hit on the cop. Needless to say, this all turns out to Sophie being forced to do something she does not want to do. And there's consequences for these actions when you're an adult. But there's even worse consequences when you're in the limelight and your dad can pull strings. So she's going to learn her lesson and her dad's going to force her to learn her lesson. But in the whole time this is all going on, Sophie laughs it off because she doesn't feel like she should have to learn a lesson because her father has never been a father figure to her. He's been a jerk. So does Sophie learn her lesson? You're going to have to read it to find out. I'm not going to tell you any more from here. I just really suggest you read Vein. It is an amazing book. So I suggest you go read it. Come back. We'll talk spoilers. I'm going to do that now. I'll see you in a little while. Okay, so if you've read Vein, holy shit, right? Like, literally, oh my god. Sophie gets in trouble, busted, tries to sleep with the cop, ends up going into a court case, goes over to a friend's house, Spencer, who seems like a good enough guy as it is, but then his dad, holy shit, his dad tries to sleep with her. You're fucking kidding me. She finds out that Pemmy, which is her father's lawyer, Pembroke, has other things in store for her. She's going to Africa. When I heard that, I thought, oh crap. She meets Ian. Wow. Wow. The character development. She goes from being this snotty rich bitch when she first meets him to being someone who actually has a heart. She cares so much for him, and she cares so much for these kids, and Karina and Charles, and the fact that all this stuff goes on, and the whole time these things are happening, I am freaking out. First of all, with the LRA and them hurting these children, I have a 4-year-old, so it was like, oh my god, I could not even imagine if someone was to do this to my child or even think about coming to my house and burning it down to get to my child. I'd fight to like Sophie and hope that Sophie would gain what she needed to gain from these, but when she meets Ian's mom, and she gets dressed. You see the old Sophie come out, and you hear her talk like the old Sophie to Aubrey, and ugh, I wanted to vomit. I hated that Sophie. But she also turns it around so that things work with her and Ian. And the whole time that I'm reading this, I'm waiting for like that instant recognition where she's just wanting to sleep with him and they end up just sleeping together and you get the whole smutty mix. Fisher didn't do that. Thank you very much. I actually love the fact that that wasn't right away. It took her to find herself before that became anything he would even think about. The fact that he goes and he sweeps the bugs off the showers every morning and every night before she gets in there, amazing. Points in my book. If you could get rid of bugs for me, points. I'm the one that usually has to get rid of the bugs. When it comes to the whole experience of her with the children, I was so happy for her that she found something that she loved and she started to figure it out, and she realizes that maybe she needs to leave. Maybe it's time for her to go, especially after Aubrey sticks her foot in where it's not supposed to go and makes her get in trouble and sends her back home with Pemmy. And Ian is like, please don't go. I thought you loved me. I thought we cared about each other, and you said you would never leave me. I told you I loved you. Why are you leaving me? And she still gets on the plane. Why are you getting on the plane? Stay with him. Oh my God. And then the court case. And the fact that Ian shows up to the courthouse and speaks on her behalf. And she runs out as soon as it's over with to try and find him. But before she can, Spencer swoops her up in this big, huge hug, and she's still trying to get to Ian. Amazing. Ian's amazing. This book, I was just amazed in the character development. There's so many books that I've read where the character finds themselves, falls in love, blah, it's over. This, she actually started out this snotty bitch and she ends up being this loving, caring person, and that's what did it for me. I loved it. Go buy it, read it. Fisher Amelie's Vein.